Hey everyone, thought I'd do a quick video today on how I got these little devices working on my Linux computer running OpenSUSE specifically. These are a couple of things I was just trying out purchasing from AliExpress before sort of buying fancy peripherals to just see if I'd like them. So this is a really cheap USB foot pedal. It just, click it down like this when you use your foot. These are very popular among transcriptionists and stuff like that. You can get, real decent devices by companies like Elgato, but this is just a standard HID device. And if you have a standard HID device, it should, low-level stuff, you might get it working on Linux. And if not, you can try to modify the firmware directly. But I'm going to show you guys the easier approach to mapping a key. This actually I really love. It's got 4 little mechanical switches, and it's super satisfying to press. I don't want to press it because it's going to open up the microphone stream. I might, and I want to show you guys that in a second. So these are just two. They connect via standard USB-A connections. Both are HID devices. Both are bought on AliExpress. And there's tons of these on the market, just, single button click, whatever. This is a particularly cool one. So how to get these working on Linux, if you want to use it for what I'm using it for, which is a shortcut key to stop and start a microphone. So it's literally like a little trigger that you have in your thing, and you can start, stop. Same principle here. So OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. All right, you want to firstly connect the device, and I'm making this video on my phone, so excuse the kind of slightly shaky camera work. First thing you want to do is run lsusb, and you're going to just kind of see everything you've got connected to your computer at this point, and this will help you just to kind of understand what you have. Now with these kind of generic USB devices, it's sometimes kind of tricky to actually see what they are. The clicker for me is actually this guy, MSR. And if you've got a lot of different things connected to your computer, you might need to do a process of exclusion, but you'll be able to get the product and manufacturer ID once it's connected. Now the bus 001 device 019, this is going to change depending on what USB port you connect to. So these are the first two things you just want to jot down. The first part of the sort of process. The next thing you want to do is super useful utility called hwdb. Now I don't know if this is installed by default on the distro, and if it's not, now what just happened there is it kind of runs through everything you have connected and allows you to monitor for input devices. So what I don't have the USB foot pedal connected, but I do have this thing connected. Now what you might see, HID for generic USB input devices, is they have a few different events. I think this guy was number 7, but you might need to try them one by one before you can figure out which one your generic USB HID device has. So I'm gonna trust my memory and hit 7. And now what's happening is that this is just gonna open up the monitoring stream, and if I do a key press, okay, so we know by process of deduction that this is not the right one because nothing's happening. So I'm going to exit this. A little bit laggy. 1 second. There we go. And let's go back. And next process of deduction, well, it's not my YubiKey, it's not my keyboard. It's one of these HID devices. So by process of exclusion, we're down to 5 or 6. Let's try 5. Nope, not 5. So it's got to be 6. So 6, hopefully. Yay. So we have it now. Watch what happens. As I'm hitting, I'm getting the values. You can actually stop this because there's no point in repeating. And what this output is going to show you is, you can see I've got mine mapped to F13, which is what I wanted, but out of the box it came with number 2. So how did I get from this to this? Well, firstly, you identify the event code of what you want. So in my case, F13 was event code 183. Then you identify, just make sure that you're looking at the right device. And the final thing that you want to do is create an entry, a remapping entry in hwdb.d. So the path on OpenSUSE is etc hwdb.d I'm going to do ls just to see what I have. I think I accidentally deleted something. So these files are kind of low level interception events that will listen pretty close to the kernel level of the operating system, and they will rewrite. You're going to need sudo to be able to edit these files, and they're ordered sequentially. So 99, 70, these are the priorities. So it doesn't really matter what you have after the number, the hyphen, but give it something descriptive so you know which rule is what. So I'm going to do sudo 70 keyboard, whoops, I'm missing nano, whoops. This video is going to go very raw on YouTube, sorry for the lack of editing. And these are the mappings that I have. So it's hwdb input, the input device name, the keyboard key, which you're going to identify from this, the scan value that you saw in the monitoring. When I depressed it, it was type 4 and its value is 7001F. Keyboard underscore key underscore 7001F equals F13. And this has held up. I have found you can refresh the udev rules afterwards, reconnect and disconnect the USB device. But I found that you seem to, on my computer at least, I needed to do a reboot for the rule to be picked up. And you can change and edit these rules as you see fit by editing this file. You might need to do a reboot, as I just mentioned. And that is basically how I was able to remap the foot pedal and this thing onto F13. And then finally, I'm using the Whisper AI extension for Chrome, which is great. Really, really nice. And then I'm able to do add F13 and it's interpreted as a keyboard event. I think my monitor needs a bit of a clean. Let me show you the finished product. So now that I have F13 as my dictation short key, I'm able to just use this. And I did F13 because it's a special key, nothing else has it. All right, I'm doing some dictation on my Linux computer using F13. And I have this nice little USB HID device from AliExpress I bought just for this purpose. F13 again, the right thing again, and now everything's mapping nicely. And it's pretty cool.